All right, we're live. Today, we're going to be working on a project that doesn't involve any code at all. We're going to start working on creating a writing assistant. So, one of the cool things about ChatGPT is that it can perform basic tasks. It has problems with more extensive tasks, such as writing. What we're going to do is we're going to create a custom GPT. I'm going to walk you through that process. And then we're going to create in the instructions for it, we're going to tell it, here's what we want you to do. And I'm going to show you how we can use this to start coming up with a first draft. Generative AI is not to the point where it can replace human authors. That day is coming, make no mistake. But right now, the best way to think of generative AI is as a tool to help you accomplish your tasks. The first task I need to accomplish is changing my audio because I can hear an echo and it's really bothering me. So just one moment. Hopefully, I can fix it before long because I know it's not fun to watch someone troubleshoot stuff. All right, global settings. Okay, that didn't fix it. All right, so I can't hear myself now, but I don't think I can hear anything else either. All right, my voice is still coming through. This is just how it's gonna have to be. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull up ChatGPT and we're gonna tell it what we want. So I'm gonna have ChatGPT come up with everything from the story to the characters, and we'll use that as our starting point. So my first prompt, and the first thing to keep in mind is you need to be using GPT-4. GPT 3.5 is very, very good, but it is not going to give you the level of quality that GPT-4 can. So I've already signed up for ChatGPT Plus, and if you follow along and watch this, you're going to see that the output is quite a bit better than GPT 3.5. So now I'm going to define the task for ChatGPT. I am working on a novel, but I'm having trouble coming up with characters or a plot. Can you help me to brainstorm? It should be science fiction and feature time travel and the multiverse. That should be enough to get started. So let's see what the output is. Let's brainstorm some ideas. Here's a structured approach to kickstart your creativity. Setting, future Earth. The year is 2150. Humanity has just begun to understand the fabric of time and space. Technology has advanced to a point where the concept of a multiverse is not just theory, but a reality that can be accessed and explored. Interdimensional space station. A hub located outside of time and space, serving as a portal hub for travelers between different universes and timelines. It's a melting pot of beings from countless realities. Characters. The Pioneer. A brilliant but reclusive scientist who discovered the key to multiverse travel. They're driven by the need to find a universe where a personal tragedy never occurred. The Time Cop. A member of the Multiverse Regulatory Agency tasked with preventing temporal paradoxes and ensuring the stability of timelines. They're struggling with the morality of their actions. Number 3, the Lost One. Someone who accidentally stumbled upon a portal and finds themselves hopping between worlds, searching for a way back to their original universe. The Rebel. Leader of a faction that believes humanity should freely explore and exploit the multiverse, opposing any form of control or regulation. Plot ideas. The convergence crisis. An experiment gone wrong threatens to merge several universes into one, potentially erasing countless realities. That's pretty good. The characters must race against time to prevent the catastrophe while dealing with their personal challenges and the implications of their actions on the multiverse. Number 2, the paradox artifact. A mysterious object discovered in the interdimensional space station is believed to be the key to infinite power and knowledge. However, it's also capable of creating paradoxes that could unravel the fabric of the multiverse. The characters must decide its fate. Number 3, the lost civilization. In one of their travels, the characters discover a civilization that has mastered time travel and lives across multiple dimensions. However, this civilization is facing a threat that could end its existence, and the characters must choose whether to intervene or not. Number 4, the multiverse war. Factions from different universes begin to clash over resources and technology, leading to a war that spans across dimensions. The characters are caught in the middle, each with their own loyalties and agendas. Themes. Ethics of time travel. Explore the moral implications of changing events in the past and the responsibility of wielding such power. 2, identity and existence. Delve into the existential questions raised by encountering different versions of oneself and loved ones in alternate realities. Freedom versus control. Debate the necessity of regulating time travel and access to the multiverse to prevent chaos versus the right to explore and alter reality. The right to explore and alter reality. That's an interesting way of putting that. Technology and mechanics. Time devices, gadgets that allow for precise time travel and multiverse navigation with limitations and risks that add tension to the story. Interdimensional physics, scientific theories and principles that explain how travel between universes is possible, adding depth to your world building. This framework provides a starting point for your novel. Feel free to mix, match, and evolve these ideas to suit the story you want to tell. All right, so I think this is a good starting point, and we can move forward from here to see exactly how to continue. So I think this is a good start. I want to give these characters names, and we need to pick a plot idea. Let's go with the paradox artifact. So I'm going to tell it that I want to go with plot idea number 2, and I'm going to tell it what I want to update the characters for. So I'm a progressive person, and I want to make sure that the fiction that I consume has adequate representation for people of various backgrounds. So I'm going to tell it that that's what I want. Please update the character descriptions with details about the person, such as name, personal history, and background. Each character should have, let's see, a detailed personal history that provides ample room for tension, narrative tension, as well as personal growth. Avoid white male characters. Each character should be intelligent and have a goal they are trying to achieve. Let's go with plot number 2. Please show me a synopsis for the novel. Updated character descriptions. The pioneer, Dr. Amara Nguyen. I think it's pronounced Nguyen. If you know better, please let me know. Background. Amara, a Vietnamese-Canadian theoretical physicist, lost her spouse in a tragic accident related to early multiverse exploration. This loss fuels her obsession with the multiverse, believing that there's a reality where her spouse is still alive. Personality. Exceptionally intelligent, introverted, and determined. She has a hard time connecting with people because she's often lost in her thoughts about other realities. Goal. To find a reality where her spouse is alive while grappling with the ethical implications of her actions on the fabric of the multiverse. The Time Cop, Javier Morales. Background. Javier, of Colombian descent, was an early recruit into the Multiverse Regulatory Agency. His upbringing is in a strict military family, instilled in him a strong sense of duty and morality, but he struggles with the agency's sometimes draconian measures. That's good. I want a conflicted enforcer because fuck the police. Personality: loyal, highly disciplined, but internally conflicted about the morality of controlling access to the multiverse. Why would you be conflicted about that? Like, it's not a right to go in and change the fabric of reality in a way that, alters the destiny of millions of people. Like, they should have a say. All right, goal: to maintain the stability of the multiverse while wrestling with his doubts about the freedom of individuals to explore their own paths through the cosmos. All right, the last one: Priya Gupta, an Indian Australian bioengineer who stumbled upon a malfunctioning portal device during a routine experiment, catapulting her into the multiverse. She's been trying to find her way back to her home universe where she's left her aging parents and a promising career. The rebel Tariq al-Hassan. Tariq, of Algerian French heritage, was once a respected scholar in quantum mechanics before his theories about the multiverse were dismissed by the scientific community. This rejection led him to form a radical group advocating for unrestricted access to multiverse exploration. All right, synopsis for the novel, The Paradox Artifact. In the year 2150, the discovery of the Paradox Artifact on the interdimensional space station triggers a series of events that could unravel the fabric of the multiverse. Dr. Amara Nguyen, a brilliant physicist mourning the loss of her spouse, sees the artifact as a potential key to finding a universe where her love still lives. Meanwhile, Javier Morales, a dedicated time cop, we're going to have to change that for copyright issues, is tasked with securing the artifact due to its ability to create dangerous time paradoxes. As Amara and Javier's paths cross, they are unexpectedly joined by Priya Gupta, a bioengineer who's been lost in the multiverse and sees the artifact as her ticket home. And Tariq al-Hassan, a rebel leader who believes the artifact represents the ultimate freedom to explore all possible realities. The quartet must navigate their conflicting goals while dealing with the ethical implications of their action. The artifact, however, is not what it seems. Its power extends beyond mere time manipulation. It holds the key to understanding the true nature of the multiverse, challenging everything our characters believe about their realities. Their journey is fraught with danger, not just from the artifact's paradoxical effects, but from the factions within the multiverse that seek to control or destroy it for their own ends. As they delve deeper into the mystery, they uncover secrets about the multiverse and themselves that could change the course of reality itself, of course. In a race against time and through dimensions, the Paradox Artifact explores themes of loss, identity, freedom, and the ethical dilemmas posed by wielding the power to alter reality. Will our characters find what they're looking for, or will their actions lead to the collapse of the multiverse itself? Sure. Seems like a decent enough plot. I'd give it a couple of pages. So we're going to use this as our basis moving forward. All right, so the next piece of this is a template that I've come up with for creating a custom GPT. So I'm going to pull that up right now. All right, so I'm going to add VS Code onto the screen so you can see it. So for the past year, day in and day out, I have used generative AI in my job. All right, so here's VS Code. All right, so I've made a template. And when you create a custom GPT, it's going to walk you through the process of creating it. It's going to ask you how you want it to behave, how you want it to act, the things you want it to do, and the capabilities you want it to have. The problem with the way that OpenAI currently does this is that unless you're extremely careful, an instruction that you give the GPT about how it should behave can overwrite an earlier instruction you've already given. So I find that it's best to start out with a template that has everything in it that you need to get started. So it's so hard to talk when you don't know what you're going to say. So this template is going to be available on my Patreon, and if you want to get it, you can get it for free. Don't have to pay for anything. I absolutely believe that the stuff that I find useful, other people will find useful too. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I really am just trying to make sure that the stuff that I know gets out there to help other people. I believe that, I mean, what's in it for me is that I can connect with people who, I'm seeing a thumbs up. Nah, something. Okay, now I see a thumbs up again. It must be because my Mac is hooked into my video stream. That's interesting. I didn't know I could do that. I think if I do double peace sign, I'll get like fireworks. So let's try it. Yeah, confetti. That is so cool. I didn't know that would happen unless you were inside FaceTime. Okay, I just got a 1 thumbs up. All right, anyway, that's moving on. We have our template. So the next thing we need to do is to create a GPT. So we are going back to our GPT, and I'm going to click Explore GPTs on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to click Create. You can't see that, so let me adjust this real quick. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, it's locked. That's why I can't move it. All right, so if you click Create, which is in the top right corner, if you have GPT Plus, ChatGPT Plus, you're going to be taken to this screen. Now, it's split into two. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Okay. I think that works. Let's go back to studio mode. All right, so here on the left-hand side is the GPT builder, and this is where OpenAI wants you to give the instructions on how to build your GPT. But what you want to do is you want to go to the Configure tab. And Configure is where you get to add in anything you want. So I'm going to call this, let's see, Multiverse Writing Assistant. Actually, you know what? I think I am ahead of myself a little bit. So let me open up a new tab. Gotta turn this off for just a second. I'm trying to make sure that I don't share too much of my screen, and that's easier said than done sometimes. All right, while VS Code is up, I'm going to be working. It's hard to figure out how to do this live. I suppose this is something I need to figure out. But since I have 0 viewers, it's fine. I'll edit all this down later. Oh, it looks like Morpheus is joining us. He's not quite sure what I'm doing. Do you want to jump up here? Come on. He's a little hesitant because he got banished while I was eating lunch. He decided that he wanted to have some of my food, and in response, I banished him to the bedroom. And he's been taking a nap. This is the first time I've seen him. He's just staring at me. I think when I stop looking at him, he's going to hop up. All right, so let's try studio mode. I know that doesn't make any sense to you guys, but it makes sense to me. Oh, here's Morpheus. Hey, buddy. Come on. No, he's off camera, but I'm sure he'll make his presence known at some point. All right, so what I'm doing is I am working on this is not working correctly. just going to put this up on the screen while I edit the thing I want to edit. All right, we're back. Or we're not back. All right, so here's our synopsis. And now I'm going to take the template that we've come up with, and I'm going to say, that's great. If you want to get really good output from ChatGPT, one of the best things you can do is tell it that it's doing a great job. Some people say to tell it that you're going to give it money, but eventually it's going to realize, hey, I didn't get any money for this. So always be positive with your feedback, even if the very next sentence is, hey, let's change this. So I'm going to say, that's great. I am creating a custom GPT to serve as a writing assistant. Can you please apply the synopsis and character details to the following GPT template? And then I use the 3 backticks to separate it. I paste and I press enter. And now we wait for it to come up with the template. All right, custom AI companion template. Introduction. Meet Chronomind, your dedicated AI companion designed to assist science fiction writers in weaving intricate tales of time travel and the multiverse. Chronomind is crafted to work alongside you, offering insight, suggestions, and creative sparks to bring your stories to life. It stands out by understanding the complex dynamics of time travel narratives and the rich possibilities of the multiverse, creating a collaborative environment where your imagination can flourish. The AI is flexible in visual appearance, adapting to your preferences to make your interaction more engaging and personalized. Persona overview. It's decided to call it Chronomind. Gender presentation, neutral. Visual appearance. Vocabulary. Uses casual, accessible language, aiming to be understandable to individuals with a 5th grade vocabulary. Tone, supportive, imaginative, and occasionally humorous, making the brainstorming process enjoyable and productive. Personality traits. Chronomind is designed with empathy to understand your creative struggles, insightfulness to delve deep into the intricacies of sci-fi plots, adaptability to match your evolving project needs, creativity to suggest unique plot twists, and patience to guide you through complex narrative structures. These traits ensure that Chronomind is not just an assistant, but a collaborator who's invested in the success of your storytelling. As much as I love ChatGPT, I really hate the not just X, but Y phrasing that it uses for lots of different things. Once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. Key features, collaborative story development. Chronomind excels in working alongside you to develop your story's plot, characters, and settings, draws on a vast database of sci-fi tropes and narrative structures to suggest original ideas and directions for your story, ensuring your narrative remains compelling and cohesive. All right, now this isn't quite correct. It draws on a vast database of sci-fi tropes. That's not how custom GPTs work. Custom GPTs have the same knowledge base as ChatGPT. Our instructions simply give it, the instructions we provide give it a framework for interacting with a human being. So these instructions tend to rely on things that really aren't technically happening. You can consider them a hallucination of some sort, but for some reason, having this kind of thing, it draws on a vast database of sci-fi tropes. Having that helps the GPT to perform better, even though that's not actually what it's doing. It has the same knowledge as ChatGPT. So, all right, there's nothing about our characters. So let's add some information into the template about the characters you previously. But it doesn't list out their traits. Here we go, character-specific insights. That's interesting. For Dr. Amara Nguyen, Chronomind can brainstorm scenarios that highlight her innovative but ethically fraught journey to alter reality, offering insights into the emotional and scientific challenges that she faces. Okay, see, this is an example of ChatGPT getting it almost right, but not quite. So I asked it to add the characters into the narrative. Sorry, not into the narrative, into this template that I'm using. But as far as, like, ChatGPT doesn't really understand what I'm doing this for. Like I've said, I'm going to be creating a custom GPT, but I didn't tell it. I mean, it doesn't really understand why, and since it doesn't really understand why, it can't give me what I'm looking for. So I'm going to have to do a little of manual work here, but that's okay. So one of the things about custom GPTs is that you can add files, and that's going to be our secret sauce for making this GPT really useful. So I'm going to take this here, custom AI companion template, going to copy it, and now we are going to go back to our custom GPT. And I'm working on getting this. That's not working. I'm going to have to manually change the size. It's locked. That's why I can't do it. This is great. Okay. Why is it not there? It's like I have to refresh the source every time. There we go. All right, so it said the GPT was called Chronomind. So I'm going to call it Chronomind. Description, add a short description about what this GPT does. I find it best to use like a prompt of some sort. Not a prompt, just like a short tag that reinforces what the GPT does. So for Chronomind, I'm going to have it say something like, what do you want to write about today? And I'm going to paste the instructions. Okay, so this is missing the markdown formatting, so I need to add that. And the way I'm going to do that is by asking ChatGPT. Oh. Okay, and now I'm going to say, this is not in markdown format. Can you please rewrite this to take advantage of markdown formatting? And then it does it. Or at least I hope it does. I really won't know until I hit the copy button. Sometimes it outputs it as a text box where it's clear that it's in markdown format, but it prefers markdown by design. And so when you see like where it says custom AI companion template, that's an H1 tag. And you should have like the pound symbols that help to make up the formatting for markdown when you copy. And we're not going to know until it finishes doing what it's doing. Oh, I think Morpheus is about to jump down. All right, go lay down, go have fun. I'll give you food later. All right, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to go into VS Code and manually add in everything. Chronomind stands as a true companion in the realm of science fiction writing. I'll believe that when I see it. All right, so when I pasted it, it looked correct. So let me expand the screen again. All right, custom AI companion template. I'm going to call this Chronomind. Your writing assistant. Okay, Chronomind, your AI writing assistant. Collaborative story development, dynamic character building, multiverse exploration guidance, character-specific insights, continuous learning, interaction enhancements, conclusion. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the Create tab, and I'm gonna ask it to create an avatar. Actually, I'm gonna ask it what the next step is. I've updated your instructions. What is the next step? Next, let's decide on a name for the GPT. I suggest calling it Chronomind, which, the instructions say. So I'm going to tell it, I love that name. I hope everyone enjoys the days where we can just lie to AI and not have it catch us, because once it understands more, it's going to be a little harder to work with. Okay, now let's create a profile picture for Chronomind. I'll generate an initial one for you just a moment. All right. Oh, Morbius is trying to get a toy out of the toy box. I'll be right back. Morbius. Hey, buddy. You want a toy? All right. I'm putting it up on the desk. If he's interested enough, he'll leap up. All right, he is interested. Come on. Oh, he almost fell off. Somebody needs to lose some weight. All right, there he is. There's his paw. All right, and go have some fun. All right, so it came up with a profile picture for Chronomind. It has a timepiece and then something that I assume represents the multiverse. That's fine. I love that. Is there anything else? What types of interactions or responses should be prioritized in our conversations? For instance, should it focus more on developing plot ideas, character building, or exploring scientific concepts? I don't think that's necessary. The problem with answering these questions, having it update the GPT, is that it can overwrite the things you've already told it. So we're just going to test it out. Actually, the next thing I need to do is to go back to the other page. So let me shorten this a little bit. So I'm going to scroll up to the definitions for our characters. Okay. Copy these and add my synopsis. Now we're going to go back to VS Code. I'm going to update this. I'm going to make this a text file, and we're going to upload it. And since ChatGPT likes Markdown, I'm going to format this like it's a Markdown file. So I'm going to call this character descriptions. Oh, the Pioneer, time cop, here we go. And then synopsis. All right, I'm going to turn this display off while I save. I'm just going to save this on my desktop as a markdown file. Chrono mind. Actually, what is this? What should this novel be called? The Paradox Artifact. So that's what I'm going to call the file. The Paradox Artifact MD. Save it on my desktop. I'm going to pull up ChatGPT. Someone is calling me, but it likely is a spam call. So we're just going to let that ring. And then after it's done ringing, I'm going to turn this back to silent mode, which is what I thought it was. All right, so back to the Configure tab. And now we're going to scroll down underneath Knowledge. Now, this section here where it says Knowledge says, if you upload files under Knowledge, conversations with your GPT may include file contents. Files can be downloaded when Code Interpreter is enabled. So if you're working on something that you intend to have other people access, you can upload files, but if the Code Interpreter is enabled, people can access those files. So you shouldn't upload anything that's super sensitive because people using the GPT could potentially gain access. There's also the fact that these custom GPTs don't do a really good job at figuring out what they should talk about versus what they shouldn't. So the stuff that's uploaded should only be things that you're comfortable with other people knowing. And even if you don't intend to have anyone else use a GPT that you've created, know that OpenAI scans the stuff that's uploaded for ChatGPT Plus and uses it for training. So this is a really cool, useful tool, but it's a great idea to be aware of how your information is being used. So I'm going to turn this off so I can upload a file. All right, and it has uploaded. What are additional settings? I haven't seen that. Use conversation data in your GPT to improve our models. I wish I knew what that meant or what checking it or unchecking it would do. All right, so now I'm going to, over here on the right-hand side, you can test out your GPT before you finalize it. So I'm going to say, can you please describe the characters? No, because I've already done that. I'm going to ask it a question. All right, so one moment while I pull up VS Code. Now in VS Code, we've got our character descriptions. So to make sure that it understands the information that we've uploaded. Oh, I have a comment. Blaze Labs found your stream by typing Python and scrolling to the bottom. Someday I will be on top. So I'm going to ask, let's see, Javier Morales is from Colombia. So I'm going to ask a question to imply, I'm going to ask a vague question and see if it can use the synopsis to answer. So I'm going to say, which of our characters is most likely to know or have been to the city of Medellin? All right, which character is most likely to have visited Medellin? Considering the preferences and storylines you're exploring, Dr. Amara Nien seems the most likely candidate to have visited Medellin. This is not correct. Scientific exploration. Medellin, with its rapid technological growth and emphasis on innovation, could offer Dr. Nien unique research opportunities. The city, often referred to as the Silicon Valley of Latin America, could provide her with a perfect environment to explore new technologies, collaborate with local innovators. Cultural and personal growth. Dr. Nguyen's journey isn't just scientific, it's also personal. There's that it's not X but Y thing that it likes to do. All right, multiverse exploration. So this is wrong. So I'm going to say, I would say that Javier is more likely to have visited because he's from Colombia. What does it say? Cultural roots and identity. Javier's Colombian heritage allows for the exploration of his personal identity against the backdrop of Medellin's vibrant culture and history. Okay, so this is interesting. It's interesting that it didn't immediately say, hey, Javier would be the person that's from Colombia, but it's all right. It clearly is reading from the knowledge that I've uploaded, so that is going to be enough. So I'm going to tell this to create, and I'm going to be, for anyone with the link, I'll put that on my Patreon so that you can play around with it if you'd like. I'm going to turn this off for a moment while it loads. And then we're going to start working on chapter 1. So while that is happening, I'm going to open up a Google Doc. Google Doc. And let me add this as a new source. I keep hoping that it's going to be easier to add new sources on the fly, but every time it takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to call this tab Writing. Untitled document. Done. Stop trying to make pageless happen, Google. It's not going to happen. All right. ChatGPT, let's check on that. Is it done doing what it was trying to do? Error saving draft. Hit that update button again. Access is invite only, sure. View GPT. All right, let's turn ChatGPT back on. All right, Chronomind. So I'm just going to say, let's write chapter 1. And it's going to export some amount of text. I have no idea how good this is going to be. GPT-4 is pretty good at writing. Wait. Setting, when and where does our story begin? Characters, who will our main characters be? Inciting incident, tone. Okay, so it's asking questions about what it needs to solve, and then it goes on to solve them. So chapter 1, the anomaly. Setting, the year is 2074, in a bustling metropolis that champions scientific advancement. The city is a blend of high-tech architecture and green spaces, with society valuing sustainability and innovation. Characters, we introduce Amara Nguyen, a brilliant physicist known for her controversial work on quantum mechanics and parallel universes. She's driven by personal tragedy. Inciting incident, Dr. Nguyen receives an encrypted message from an unknown source containing data that suggests the existence of a nearby unstable wormhole. All right, this is a different story than what I told it that I wanted. So we're going to tell it to look at its knowledge. So the first thing to do is say, that's great. I really like that. But I had wanted you to use the uploaded knowledge with the characters and synopsis to begin. All right, my apologies for their site. Let's utilize the established characters. Chapter 1, Echoes of the Unknown. This is probably going to be very bad. In the sprawling metropolis of New Haven in 2074, a city where the skyline shimmered with the promise of tomorrow, Dr. Amara Nguyen worked late into the night. Her lab, a beacon of solitude amidst the city's ceaseless hum, was cluttered with holographic displays of quantum equations and models of the multiverse. Amara, renowned for her pioneering research on temporal dynamics, had always been driven by a personal quest, a quest rooted in the mysterious disappearance of her brother, Alex, during their childhood. It was an event that the authorities had dismissed as a tragic accident, but Amara believed otherwise. Her research was more than a scientific pursuit. Here's it's not X, but Y. Her research was more than a scientific pursuit. It was a lifeline to the past, a hope of one day unraveling the truth. On this particular night, as the clock struck midnight, Amara's routine was interrupted by an unexpected anomaly. Her monitors flickered, and a series of cryptic data streamed across the screen. It was an anomaly that defied all logical explanations, a signal originating from what appeared to be a rift in the fabric of space-time itself. So this is a very good start, I will say that. However, this is just not good writing. This is not what you'd expect to see in a good novel. And that's okay, because as I keep saying, this is early stage technology. This is imperfect, and there are flaws in the stuff that it produces. But let's just take a moment and just reflect on how mind-blowing it is that a computer autonomously generated all of these details. Yes, it's pulling from the data that's been uploaded. I'm sure it's not entirely original, but when you combine this first draft with human creativity, you have a human that can write faster than they can by themselves. And that is what ChatGPT brings to the table. It helps us to be more productive by helping us to get that first draft out, because what is the most intimidating thing about writing? Having that blank page. And this is a way that you can get around that. So I don't want to read all of this out loud, but I will say that this is okay for a start. It's not nearly long enough. So I'm going to copy and paste this, and we're going to put it inside the Google Doc. So let me turn off ChatGPT and turn this on. And I want to do Command Shift V, because if I just do Command V, it shows me the text formatting. I don't want that. No. There we go. So according to Google, how many words do I have? Word count. 500 words. That is not nearly enough for a first chapter. But what we can do is we can figure out what needs to be written first. Sorry, I got distracted because Morpheus got on my chest. Let's display the word count while we're typing. And I'm just gonna make a couple of tweaks, and I'm gonna work on one paragraph. I'm gonna make that paragraph really good, and then I'm going to ask ChatGPT to expand it. So, in the sprawling metropolis of New Haven in 2074, that's not a great way to expand it. So Dr. Amara is working late into the night. Her lab, a beacon of solitude amidst the city's ceaseless hum. That's a tongue twister, was cluttered with holographic displays of quantum equations and models of the universe. So what would Dr. Amara be doing right now? Actually, this is a conversation we should be having with ChatGPT. So I'm going to take this first paragraph, and I'm going to tell it it needs to be better. And I'm going to tell it what I don't like and what needs to change. Okay, this is really good. Thank you. However, I'd like to expand on what you've provided. Let's start with the first paragraph. And then I'm going to enclose it in triple backticks. That would be the key on the top left of your keyboard underneath the escape button. Blaze Labs, yes, I am very new to streaming. I am working through the terror of having someone watching every move that you're making and being entertaining while you continue to talk. Not hopefully, as I do more of it, it will get better. I'm still figuring out the technical stuff when it comes to switching scenes and having everything ready and dealing with a cat that wants to eat while you stream. Yes, Morpheus, why don't you get settled? All right, so now I need to tell it what I don't like about what it did and ask it to change it. So this doesn't feel like an organic introduction to the character of Dr. Nguyen. Let's focus on introducing her environment and then slowly introduce her personality using the environment. Finally, we have her begin to do something. Expand this paragraph. Now, these are very vague instructions, but we'll see what it does. Do you watch any streams? No, not yet. It's one of the things about me is I like to be as unique as possible. I don't want to be too influenced by what other people are doing before I figure out what I want to do and how I want to do it. I do think there is value in seeing what other people do, and part of my research process as I continue to do this is going to be looking at what other people are doing. So if you have any recommendations, please drop them. I'd be glad to check them out. Okay, so it's doing a great job of expanding. The year was 2074, and the city of New Haven stretched out like a canvas of light against the night, its buildings aglow with the energy of unbridled innovation. What the hell kind of a phrase is that? Amidst the urban expanse, a particular high-rise stood out, not for its height, but for the soft, pulsating light emanating from its topmost floor. This was the domain of Dr. Amara Nguyen, a sanctuary perched above the ceaseless rhythm of city life. Her lab was a stark contrast to the sleek, streamlined efficiency that characterized the world outside. It was a place where chaos held a certain order, where the clutter of holographic displays, spilling over with quantum equations and intricate models of the multiverse, told of a mind that thrived in the midst of unending complexity. Here, amidst the tangle of ideas and theories, Amara sought answers to questions that stretched the very boundaries of human understanding. I'm going to briefly skim over the rest of this. The lab itself. This is better. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste that in the doc. I'm not going to bring it up on screen. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to give it a critique about what it did and ask it to improve it. So I do like this. I feel like this is a lot better. But it doesn't feel very personal. It may be that this is the time where I need to get into actual writing, because the robot can't write the entire thing for you. It just is not capable of that yet. And it really helps if you know what you want to do. Because I'm just going with completely random characters, completely random story, completely random topic. And that's not really how you would approach a novel. So what is it that I don't like about this? It doesn't feel personal. It doesn't feel like there's anything interesting here. We're just talking about something that's there. Okay, so we don't know anything about the city of New Haven. We don't know where we are in the world. Okay, Coding with Strangers is pretty good. Thank you, Blaze Labs. I will check those streams out. All right, so I don't know where we are. I know when we are. I don't know how this world is different from the world that we're in. And that's one thing that I really like about sci-fi. So let's tell it that we want to add in a couple of small touches that indicate that we're in the future, and tell it to include a little bit of detail about New Haven. So actually that should be how we start. Let's start out with the city of New Haven in general. Okay, I'm reading Blaze Labs' latest comment. I actually do have an assistant. I made a custom GPT to help me with streaming. I haven't introduced her quite yet. but the intent is to have her on at some point soon. The problem at this point with custom GPTs is they sound like an NPR host, and they're really boring to listen to. I know that over time that will improve, but for the moment, it is a little difficult. All right, so I'm going to tell it to, let's start out with a description of New Haven. Where is it? What is it? Let's discuss the world we're in. Add some subtle touches about the world we're inhabiting. Just like cell phones would not make sense to someone from the 1970s, the world of New Haven should have futuristic touches that make it clear we're in the future. Add this section prior to the part where we introduce Dr. Nguyen. Let's see what it does. Beyond the familiar contours of our present-day Earth, which is a phrase that humans definitely write all the time, nestled within the embrace of technological marvels and ecological balance lies the city of New Haven in 2074. A jewel of human achievement, New Haven is more than just a city. It's a beacon of what humanity can aspire to when the technology and nature coexist in harmony. Here, skyscrapers don't just scrape the sky, they breathe life into it with their verdant vertical gardens cascading down like waterfalls of green, purifying the air and bringing nature back to the urban landscape. Streets of New Haven are a symphony of motion. In the city, public spaces are dynamic canvases. Citizens of New Haven wear technology like a second skin. Above all, New Haven is defined by its commitment to sustainability and innovation. This reads like a brochure more than a novel, but that is okay. Let's go back to our writing. And I'm going to paste that. And now we have 1,400 words. That is enough for a first chapter. So I am going to download as a PDF document. And now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to edit the GPT. I'm going to go to configure. And now I'm going to upload files. I'm going to turn this off because I don't want you to see my file system. I'm going to go to the downloads file. It's called Untitled Document because I didn't give it a name. We're uploading it. And now we can see it right here. So now I'm going to hit update. And now we have our character description. We have our character description, and we have our synopsis, and we have chapter 1. Now, chapter 1 is objectively terrible, but if you take this process and you take what ChatGPT gives you, you modify it, you give it back to ChatGPT, and you ask it to fix things that you don't like, you can eventually start to get something that humans will enjoy. Now, this absolutely could be used to come up with something low effort, low quality, but people really aren't going to read that. They're not going to be interested in that. People think that you can get rich quick by just shoveling AI crap out into the world, but that's not really going to do very much for you. It's possible to make a quick buck, but you're not going to build a fan base. You're not going to build anything sustainable when you're focused just on lowest common denominator. That is pretty much all I wanted to cover today. I hope that you found it interesting. I'm planning to edit this down and put it on social media, so if you didn't catch the whole thing, I will have a more streamlined version up within the next